understand dyslexia? Well, it's really hard. So I'm going to try to simplify it. I'm going to take this pen and I'm going to draw a Venn diagram. That's three overlapping, or in this case, three overlapping circles. This circle, and this circle. Don't worry that the circles are not the same size. In my mind, they're more or less the same size. The size of the circles is not what's important about this. My ability to draw is quite poor. No sugar. So, what goes into the circles? Well, the first circle I'm going to name sequencing. Sequencing is basically the dyslexic ability or confusions or difference where left and right may be concerned, or where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where people find maybe counting difficult, or where putting things in order can be difficult. So sequencing can be anything from timekeeping, dates, counting, knowing which order things go in, and it can even come in things like how you write. You might write letters backwards, that sort of thing. So that's a very simple example of sequencing. Counting, reversals, time management, etc., etc., etc. Here, we're going to look at phonological processing. So, phonological processing is essentially the ability to read a word and translate that word easily into the sounds that make up that word. So it's grapheme-phoneme correspondence, for instance. Issues that dyslexic people may have with phonological processing include things like reading fluency, word recognition, word recall, pronouncing words badly, not being able to know what a word is pronounced like, and in fact, comprehension of the word. Without good phonological processing, comprehension becomes difficult. And also, memory becomes really difficult. Comprehension, memory, especially short-term working memory, reading, fluency, spelling, etc. You can see my handwriting is really, apologies for my handwriting. The next aspect we're going to look at with dyslexia is working memory. Now, working memory isn't just memory, it tends to be short-term, and it's also the ability to use what's in the memory and apply it. So it's the ability to essentially work with your memory. Use your memories and the things you remember to work with them. So, application of facts, for instance, or looking at a board and copying things down, transferring something from one place to another. These are all working memory issues. Just like that. Yes. Often mental arithmetic, when you're holding certain things in your mind and you've got to then do something with them and you forget the thing that you've been holding in your mind. There are, of course, a lot of overlaps, which is why I've drawn this as a Venn diagram. So for instance, one of the overlaps might be spelling. Between sequencing and phonological processing, there may be spelling issues. Clearly here, there's the memory issue. And clearly here, you can have maths. And of course, where they all overlap, because there are places where they all overlap, recall of spelling, perhaps. And recall of spelling, you're recalling, so that's the working memory. Of course, you've got to work out how it's spelt, and that's phonological processing, and there's a sequence involved with that as well. And so effectively, you can look at dyslexia as overlaps of different cognitive functions. And when you're trying to identify dyslexia, think of it in terms of broad categories, because if you're looking for broad categories, then you can start to fit actions into those broad categories, rather than just try to work out the specific things that dyslexia might involve. Still no milk.